Let's Play of Quest for Glory 4. My name is Anna Mardall, and Crisp is here with us on the desk today. He has just had his food, and he also stole his big sister Mina's food, so he has a little round basketball tummy. Yes, yes, and he's sleepy. So he walked around crying until I found him, and I brought him to the desk, and hopefully he'll lay down and rest. Can you lay down and rest, baby boy? Oh, he's not sure. He's trying to nurse on my fingers, because you're still hungry, right? Alright, when we last left off, I have no idea what I had planned to do. I really don't. I know we rescued Eager. Oh, that's what I was going to do. No, Crisp, you can't walk on the... Okay, I'll move the keyboard if you want to come lay here. Do you want to lay here? You come purr for the microphone. Are you singing? Hello, everybody. I wanted to go see if the prisoner made it back home safely. We don't have a strong idea of where the traveler's camp is, but we know it's well, Olga said it wasn't too far from town. That's not true. It's about as far from town as you can get in this valley. But we are going to try to find him.
You don't notice? The bush looks a little strange, almost as though it is sitting rather than growing in its place.
It made a meow. You hear a giggle from behind the bush. Then a squeaky voice asks, 1 and 1 and 1 make 3. Can you tell me what you make of me? Reading, writing, riddling game. Can you tell me what's my name? So our options are Rumpelstiltskin, Leashy, Ruzalka, Bushman, or make a wild guess. He's a Leashy.
Tell the creature it's called the leashy.
Ah, that's the price of too much fame. Now you've gone and guessed my name. Leashy, Leashy, look and see, in a bush or up a tree. Leashy, Leashy, riddle rhyme. Can you solve them every time?
Well, I guess we could go and come back.
Na 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 na.
I guess we have to catch it.
Na 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 na. Na 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 na.
Just want to check something real quick. We should be at... I can't see Crisp. 139, that's correct. Isn't this fun?
Oops! Hi there! Three and three make 9. Who lives among the watery brine? Fishy, squishy riddles make. Tell me now who's in the lake.
Well, that would be a Rizalka.
1 and 2 and 3 make 6. Who hides her hut behind trick sticks? magic message. Bushes here, in the rhyme with disappear.
No one seems... No one's...
We can't answer that yet. I'm not even sure we were supposed to hear it yet. Let's keep going. That sounded like Baba Yaga, though. Oh, wyvern, because I wasn't sneaking. Eat flame. And isn't it just lovely? Fuck off. Apparently he goes fast enough that we can't... There we go, get our spells off. I really, really hate the combat in this game, and I don't understand how the combat kept getting worse. It was neat and elegant and worked well in the first game.
You are near the northeastern corner of the forest. You can see brightly colored wagons to the northeast.
All right, that's where we want to go.
You are in the northeastern corner of the forest. To the north, you can see a clearing in which brightly colored wagons form a circle around a fire pit.
So we're going to visit the camp. And again, just a reminder that there's going to be that there's liberal use in this game of the G word, which is an ethnic slur, which I personally don't like to use, which is why I've been trying to avoid using it as much as possible. So we're about to run headlong into a lot of stereotypes about Romani people, and it'll be the full 9 yards of the colorful wagons and fortune telling and everything else. So we're heading into that. And there are wolves.
The response is a low growl. The wolf growls
So the wolves are not interested in talking to us. And we don't see any sight of the young man, so we will leave. Hopefully he got home safely. Don't know that, but hope for that. It's midday, so we've got some time. I would like to visit Irana's garden. And, oops, I need to be stealthing so we don't hit another wyvern.
Hello.
Oh, that's not what I meant to do. We're too far north. Too far north. Ah, crumbs. Can we avoid it if we go this way?
These bushes look as though someone planted them here deliberately. You are in the far southeastern corner of the forest. Further passage is blocked by bushes on all sides except the north.
Deliberately, eh?
An enchantment has been placed on the hedge to the west.
Well, hey, let's try that.
The bush doesn't seem to have much to say to you. Perhaps that's because you haven't been properly introduced.
So we use...
As you repeat the magic phrase you learned from the Lishi, the bushes on the west spring apart as if by magic. Oh, that's right, it is magic.
Oh my.
The chicken hut perches upon a steep cliff overlooking part of the valley, It looks like a long way down. It's a dead body, artistically laid out for maximum shock effect. Actually, it just happened to fall in that position, but please don't tell anyone. A huge old gnarled oak nestles a large rock under its roots as if it were hatching an egg. An ancient dried corpse hangs from its boughs.
So maybe this is the hangman's tree. I thought the hangman's tree was in the graveyard.
The tree's roots have grown up around an egg-shaped rock. They nestle it almost as if it was a real egg. Skulls line the pathway to a most peculiar chicken-legged hut. There can't be many like it. This must be Baba Yaga's hut, last seen in Spielberg. The nearest skull is fixed in a perpetually sour expression. One eye socket is empty, the other filled with a brilliant gem, like the flare of the frost flame.
Well,
You're sure you've seen this skull and that gem somewhere before?
let's go introduce ourselves.
Go back or face thy doom. Hey, wait a second. Don't I know you from somewhere? Yeah, you're the guy that turned Baba Yaga into a frog. So what are you doing here? Trying out for the part of soup du jour or auditioning for the main course? She's back to her old self, if you knows what I mean. Other than a craving occasionally for flies and a distaste for frog legs, she's the same as ever. Call me Bonehead. I'm just hanging around like always. Danger? Around here? Nah, must be your paranoia acting up again. This place is as cozy and safe as a coffin. You can see for yourself that the hut's okay. Took it a bit to settle down from the last flight, though. You mean the hut of brown now sit down sort of thing the last time you was by? Well, that don't work anymore. Just go up to the hut and it'll squat and let you in, if it wants you in.
Okay.
My eye? Not bad at all. I has to admit, you gave me a real gem. Yeah, good to see me again, I know. So, what do you want?
Thank you, Crisp. Wait. Huh, okay. So I thought it was because Crisp sat on the keyboard. But I think actually it's, no, there's something broken.
Put it this way. A wristwatch ain't much use without a wrist. And a pair of dancing shoes don't do much when you got no legs. You know what I mean? Bring me something to keep the sun out of my eyes, maybe.
So he says he remembers the gnome, but we have to bring him something useful or he won't let us pass the fry guys. Those other guys do what I say. They won't crisp you if I give the word. The big bee, the babe, the ogress, Baba Yaga herself, she thinks you cheated her out of a meal the last time, and she'll be delighted to have you for dinner. So something's bugged about that.
Don't remind me. I thought I was gonna be left behind when the hut flew the coop, but Baba Yaga picked me up later. You sure made her mad.
All right.
See you around.
So we have to get him something to keep the sun out of his eyes before he'll let us pass. So we don't have anything, we don't have a hat to give him
Don't
now.
come back unless you got a reason to be here.
But we can go visit the Lishi again and tell him that, yeah, Baba Yaga is here. But first, I want to visit Irana's piece.
You are in the southeastern corner of the forest. You can just make out a strange-looking wooden house on a tall cliff to the southwest.
I continue to be very impressed that they put in,
You are near the southeastern corner of the forest. You can just make out a strange-looking wooden house on a tall cliff to the southwest.
It certainly makes the forest a lot easier to navigate.
You are near the southeastern corner of the forest. You can just make out a strange-looking wooden house on a tall cliff to the south. You can also see some unusual plants in a clearing to the northwest.
That would be the Leshy. But first we are going to visit Irana's garden and grab one of the daily fruits.
Your magical lasso floats towards the tree.
That is all we needed. Thank you. Sorry, won't bother you again. Actually, will bother you again because I want to give...
You fill your flask. You water the bonsai bush.
I don't know if it needs that.
You fill your...
I have a strange recollection of doing it.
You water... You... 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 You water the bonsai.
Let me Google real quick because I know that they... I know that the you would think that it wouldn't let me keep doing it if it wasn't good and necessary, but on the other hand it could be just something they added in. Well, let's just keep playing for now. I know that the bonsai tree used to give fruit that people could eat just for food as opposed to magical restoration from the tree, but I don't remember if you can ever get it to re-fruit or not. It's been a while. Alright, Leshy. And we're no longer poisoned. That's nice.
1 and 2 and 3 make 6. Who hides her hut behind trick sticks? Magic message. Bushes here. In the rhyme with disappear.
Baba Yaga.
Would that be Baba Yaga in her chicken leg hut you try?
Baba baby, that's the one. An ogress who is loads of fun.
That's one way to think of her, I suppose.
Guessing answers without knowing? Check your guesses first by going.
I know she lives there. God damn it. Does it not count if I haven't actually talked to her? That's annoying in the extreme. Talk to her doorkeeper. I recognize the house. That's just silly. It's silly is what it is. While we're out and about, let's go deliver Olga's message to Boris. The Domovoy says that Boris and Olga need help, so I don't know. Maybe this is helping. Seems unlikely.
A fine autumn day to be walking. A man who walks everywhere will see much, I always say.
Tell him that Olga thinks he was too lazy.
Lazy? What was there to do in a shop with no customers? Once the swamp cut off trade here, we had nothing to sell. I had nothing to do there, so just because I would sit at the inn and talk with the other men, she thought I was lazy. All she ever did was sit around and give me orders when I was in the shop. What was the point of dusting if no one came in the shop to notice the dust? I came here to get away from her constant nagging. According to her, I could do nothing right. Here there is peace and quiet.
I gotta say, I'm on Olga's side on this one, buddy.
The castle is very quiet during the daytime, but I have heard noises and seen lights in the windows at night. The people of the town are frightened peasants. Just because no one has ever seen anyone from the castle during the day, they tell tales of monsters in the night. I have worked as a gatekeeper here for many years. I wear no garlic and fear no vampires. After all, when someone goes looking for trouble, he will always find it.
So you don't take precautions because the precautions cause the problem.
Mordavia has changed little in all the time I have lived here. I have heard the wolves howl at night, but who is to say that they are werewolves? May the sun and the moon keep watch over you.
And dust is bad. I'm anti-dust. I have OCD, and I was raised by a woman who is the cleanest woman you have ever known. Her house is constantly spotless. So I was raised with standards that are impossible to maintain. So I'm on Olga's side, asking him to pick up a dust rag every so often.
Well now, what news do you have for me?
You tell Olga that Boris didn't like being ordered around all the time.
Ah, I wouldn't have had to order him around if he would only have done his work. I just wanted the shop to be neat and clean in case anyone came in. How does he expect me to do all the work around here by myself? This was his family's business after all.
It was his family store, and she was just doing her best to keep it going? Yeah, I'm Team Olga on this one. Alright.
As my husband used to say, come back again, sunshine or rain.
Let's go this way.
Igor is very glad not to still be in grave. You Igor's friend now.
You tell Igor how you figured out he was stuck in the grave.
Lucky for Igor, you persistent hero.
You tell Igor the townspeople were worried while he was gone.
People miss Igor? You tell Igor a rumor? Igor now morgue happy than ever. Morgue happy, get it? Little graveyard humor there.
Oh, Igor.
Good to see you.
So he talks to us now. So before he wasn't standoffish, he was just shy.
Igor not give crypt key to strangers. You not stranger. Igor give crypt key to you.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, reports of Igor's demise greatly exaggerated.
Got a new key.
Grave accident? Little graveyard humor there. That good one. I like it. Igor, carve headstone near grave. Igor fall in grave. Gravestone fall on grave. Igor not get out until you get him out of grave. Igor in grave danger. A little graveyard humor there. Staff been in town long time. Dimitri's grandfather brought staff to town. People say Doctor mad. Doctor not mad. Doctor just crazy. Oh, people not like gypsies. People think gypsies steal things. People think gypsies eat people. People think gypsies not normal like Igor.
So we got a key from him, which is good. And now we're going to do something dangerous but necessary.
Bad place.
You push.
We are going to... Well, first of all, we're going to try to break this panel
You
open
break the
again.
glass cabinet open, making a big mess. The only useful item inside is a flask labeled healing, which you take for later use.
I'm just going to take it,
That feels good. Just what you needed to...
because if it was poison or something, I'd rather know now. Alright, rehydration. And more honestly, I don't like not having the same amount of healing and poison cure pills. So this is the rehydration formula.
Very wet be I, very wet and very alive. Glad am I to be alive, happy thanks I give you. Careful you should be here, dangerous berry it is. Feed the guard or destroy it to find the secret passage down.
That brought us up to 155 points. I think we're getting points for the leashy riddles even though we haven't passed. And I think we got a point for entering the camp even though we weren't allowed to actually enter.
You retrieve the Dark One sign from the monastery door, then quickly step away before the Hectopus can react.
Screw you, Hectopus. Alright. So we got 6 points for that, and we'll be able to talk to the leashy at the inn, or the Domovoy at the inn, and tell
You
him
pick
that
up
we
2
saved
of the
his
metal
buddy.
weights and put 1 in each of the baskets.
So, presumably, there was a Domovoy living in the monastery, and
Your legs are too stiff and sore to use this.
the horribleness of the monastery caused him to literally dry up.
After
Which is sad and would be horrible. They probably don't get to choose where they live. The Rusalka doesn't get
There's
to
only a
choose where
certain
she
amount
lives.
of punishment your body can stand on any given day.
Okay, so we're one more day from maxing out the weight bowls. And I do like that it ups your strength by 10 each time you master one set. That's nice and easy to predict and measure.
No one
So it isn't said clearly.
You don't know.
But this building right here is Nikolai's house. You can break into it as a thief. And we won't because we're not a thief. It's sad, if I remember correctly. Like, when you make noises and it wakes him up, he sits up in bed and is like, Anna, is that you? And, I mean, it just breaks my heart.
You have some garlic pheasant for supper.
Thank you so much. Nothing new from Yuri. Nothing new from the townspeople. So up we go to our bedroom. Woohoo!
You on?
Just for giggles, let's see if we get anything if we sleep the whole night through. Come on, come on. Jeez.
The domovoi appears in the room beside you.
You help okay. Domovoy much wetter now. Maybe help you okay I will. You fine hero. You okay.
Thank you.
You unlock.
That was just for the first hour. Scared the crap out of me.
While you sleep, you
Yes.
dream you hear voices. They are strangely familiar.
You know, it's
no.
it's been a while since I last used this crystal ball.
Like the time I caught you watching the dryad bathing in the lake, huh?
There is definitely some magic interfering with the vision. It's difficult to tell whether I'm getting through or not.
Either you are mystically rusty or your crystal ball is dusty.
You are not helping. I need to concentrate here. Oh, I think I'm starting to get something.
Wait a minute. Let me see if I can adjust the antenna.
You hear the sudden sound of music and a different voice saying, "And now for something completely different."
Oh, it's another Monty
The music
Python
and the
link.
voices fade as you start to awaken.
So,
You awaken as the sun begins to rise.
that was voices. It wasn't the voices that I specifically wanted. But we'll get there.
It's sausage and peppers fried with garlic.
The werewolf threat has ended. Since you have found and rescued Igor, I have released our gypsy prisoner. It seems it was not a werewolf after all. All the peasant fears were for nothing.
Yay?
You say hello to the Burgermeister.
You are a very polite person. Perhaps I should learn some manners from you for dealing with strangers.
You tell the Burgermeister about how much you want to be a hero.
I am beginning to think that you must be quite a hero already. Take care.
He likes us now.
The gypsy has no doubt returned home to his people. They have an encampment to the east. I will be able to get a real night's sleep for once. I do not have to worry that the prisoner will be harmed or that he will escape now. The people of this town will settle down again. They cried so loudly for blood because they are tired of living so long in the shadow of fear. There is a rumor that perhaps I was mistaken in trying to drive you away from Mordavia. That perhaps you are the hero you claim to be. But you know how rumors are. You cannot always trust what you hear.
So that's sweet on a couple of levels. One, him warming up to us is very, very sweet. And I love him for it. Two, the argument that...
I have been preparing a research report to tell the world about my process for reanimating dead tissue. It is proving very difficult. I must omit no detail, or the more skeptical of my fellows will doubt my results.
I don't
And
really
yet,
care.
if I wait too long, some other scientists may publish first. Why, it is distinctly possible that there are hundreds, even thousands of experimental scientists even now animating their own corpses and trying to publish their results before mine.
Okay.
Then again, maybe there aren't.
He makes the argument that the townspeople cried so loudly for blood, not because they're horrible racist people. Spoiler, they are. But because, in his opinion, they're so tired of living in fear that they've seized on any opportunity to fight back against the darkness. Even if they picked the wrong target this time. So, I mean, it's still horrible, racist awfulness that they seized this guy and decided to kill him just because he's not one of them. But I think it says a lot about Dimitri, who seems so cynical, that he's seized upon this more hopeful paradigm for looking at it. So I like Dimitri a lot. He's a complicated character. We'll see a little bit more of him when we take the Paladin route.
I have been very busy lately preparing my research report. If you have any suggestions, this would be a good time to share them.
I don't care even a little bit.
Science is the basis of living an informed life. With it, we have...
Okay. I just
Here.
need my healing potion
You are...
Of...
and my poison cure
Here.
potion.
Oh, to become a certified genius, one must obtain a certificate of genius from the Positively International Genius Society. There's a bit more to it than that, of course, but that's the gist. I'm the only pig in this area.
Nice.
If I told you about it, it would not be a secret anymore now, would it? All I can say is that the process involves lightning, life fluid, and an attractive, recently dead corpse. Oh, and considerable quantities of pepperoni pizza, of course. Publish or perish, they say. It is not sufficient just to be the greatest scientist in the world. One must also strive to be the best known. Otherwise, research grants can be hard to obtain.
The key to writing a research report is always to remember this. A pen can be driven, but a pencil must be led.
That sounded like a different voice actor for that line.
Many of the Academy scientists are greedy, self-centered, and dishonest. Some of them have negative attributes as well. It is best not to let other scientists know too much about one's research until one is ready to publish the final results. Perhaps I should keep the results of the Frankie experiment to myself. I am not sure if the world is quite ready for infinitely agreeable artificial women.
This
I shall
whole
need to explore the situation much more closely to be certain.
plotline is so gross and just... why did they put necrophilia in this? And there's just consent issues and it's just gross. Let's go finish up the treadmill.
You pick up 2 of the metal weights and put one in...
And I'm in a bad mood because I looked up the text dump of the different voices that you can hear.
Your legs are too stiff and sore to use this right now.
And I think we may have missed the window for one of the conversations already.
After you think you've done about as much stair-stepping as your body can handle.
Alright, we have maxed out stair stepping. Woohoo! It It is midday on day 6. Let's leave town.
The days are getting cooler and shorter. Winter is approaching.
Winter is coming. I mentioned this before in my first video, but the themes of this game are very much about winter and death and things winding slowly and painfully towards an ending that may not be what you want, may not be totally satisfying, but all things end, which is actually kind of appropriate for a game that was, I think, intended to end the series.
A fine autumn day to be walking.
Yes, yes. Here's about Olga.
Tell Boris that Olga is having trouble running the shop without him.
Your family shop.
There is much to do to keep the shop straightened up. My family always worked together to keep it going before. If only Olga wouldn't nag me all the time. She and I used to enjoy running the shop when we actually had things to sell. What is the point of even running a shop when there is no business?
You create business. You find business. Ugh. Not on your side.
Work, work, work. That was all Olga ever said to me. And it didn't matter what I did. I always did it wrong. And so she would nag. All I wanted was a chance to get away from her voice. I got so tired of being nagged one day that I walked out of town. I walked so long that it was getting dark. Then I met the master and was asked if I wanted the job as gatekeeper. I accepted and have been here ever since.
Well, I'm happy you're happy, I guess.
May your job...
Scared the crap out of me. Thank you, Hawk. They set up Arana's garden so that you can only approach it from the south. And, that's kind of irritating. Alright, fetch another fruit.
Your magical lasso. You
I wonder if it restores stamina, like...
You drink.
No, it doesn't.
You.
Interesting. The water and tarn are restored, had restorative properties. Okay, let's go back to the traveler's camp. I had thought that maybe we could go visit them yesterday and check on the young man. But, I think you actually have to wait until the day after. Presumably he hadn't returned home yet, or maybe he returned home and collapsed and went to bed, and they didn't know who it was. Run from the wyvern. Bye, wyvern. Got some points there.
Greetings and welcome to our camp. You are a stranger no longer. When you saved me from death, our lives became intertwined. Henceforth, you are to be known as a gypsy friend. Come now. I will take you to the leader of our camp.
Okay, then. We're a friend. And he seems really nice.
So, you are the one my son spoke of. You saved his life. You also entered fearlessly into our den of wolves. You are a man of great courage.
Nope, man,
We
just not.
gypsies owe you for our Davy, and I believe we will owe you for things to come. Welcome. I am the fortune teller.
I'm just not an asshole.
I will teach you a spell. It will protect you against the dead that rise again. I think you will find this most useful in your questings.
Yes.
Gypsy fortune teller touches your head briefly. Magic flows through you. Now you know the aura spell.
Thank you.
Now, let us learn more of you. Why have you come here, and what do you seek?
So, can we just pause for a second and appreciate how absolutely gorgeous the fire effects of this scene are? You got the two candles over here glittering, and you get the reflection, you get the light off of his shirt, off of her jewelry, off of our shirt. Just amazingly beautiful scene. Garlic strings hang from the ceiling, their spicy aroma challenging the musty smell of the wagon. Davy shifts his gaze between you and the fortune teller from time to time. He obviously holds her in great respect. The fortune teller is a very beautiful older woman. She has a look of pride and confidence about her. Her eyes are dark and fierce, but not unkindly. So, I'm going to say that I think Sierra was trying to do a thing where they thought they would challenge a stereotype by embracing it and making these people actually quite awesome people. The problem is they're still playing into the hands of the stereotypes of the fortune teller and the cards and the wagons and everything. So that doesn't necessarily suddenly make it not hurtful if it's like, well, what if we did the stereotype, but they're good now? Like, the stereotype can still cause harm. And this is why you would really need to have, like, sensitivity writers and readers on your staff to actually portray a culture properly and not just, well, what if we took the stereotype but made them nice? Because that sounds good and it's probably comes from good intentions, but it's still lazy and hurtful and careless. But it's here. We're gonna go with it. You are most polite for an outsider. You tell your name. We are honored to know your name. It is a good name, a strong name. You bear it well. I know those lines have voices, so I think I may have screwed up the voice assignment. You tell about the gnome and his problems. Interesting. Baba Yaga has returned only recently to this valley. We have had scent of her to the far south, but the path to her hut is blocked by magic. You will need to find a way past that magical barrier. You tell about how you got here. The dark cave? You escaped from there? You are very powerful and lucky. I would guess that a summoning spell went wrong. That cave interferes with all magic around here. But it is best not to speak of that cave. Someone brought you here for some unknown purpose. Most interesting. So, oh, this is frustrating. I screwed up the dialogue, probably by saving the game. Let's try the automatic save. Because I know that stuff is all voiced.
Greetings and welcome to our camp. You are a stranger no longer. When you saved me from death, come now.
So, you are the one my son spoke of. You saved his life. You all... welcome. I will
Gypsy.
now.
This is very strange. I have heard these lines spoken, so either something's gone wrong with my game or something's gone wrong with me. Like I've done something wrong or the adaptation of this game has done something wrong.
You may call me Magda. That is the name I go by with you gorgios.
Gorgio is the word we call anyone who is not a gypsy.
And that voice assignment sounded strange because that sounded like a different actress for her.
There are many legends about that ogress. We gypsies avoid her when we can. She is dangerous to enemies, and she takes offense easily. She has her hut to the south. There is some sort of magic hiding the pathway there. Her only weakness is her love of food. Be careful if you need to approach her. I have been gifted by true sight and foreknowledge. These are gifts with knife edges. Oh, I have seen my own death, and knew my true love's death the day I met him. Still, it is most useful. I will read your fortune in the cards, if you wish. You have only to cross my palm with silver. So much for the legends about werewolves, huh? Or at least a coin of value. But I warn you, no future is fixed. What the cards show of the future can happen, but only if you take the actions to create this future. And it is not easy to determine what those actions are, dear. Such is life. This valley has always been a nexus of power. Magic is very strong here. My people for generations come here to renew and strengthen their ties to the mystical ways. My dear, we are not the only ones drawn by this power. The magician Irana created a magical refuge here. Others, more dark, were drawn here as well. Oh, be wary and watchful at all times here. The magic of this land has become twisted, and there are many dangers around you. Oh. There are many places and things of magic around here, and I am certain you will come across them in your travels. Irana was a powerful magician who came from this area. There is a garden in the forest which she created. Oh, it is such a place of safety for all who visit there. It is said that her final resting place is near here as well. Her staff stands in the town and protects those within the walls from outside harm. There are some things about which even I dare not speak. Even thinking about such creatures attracts them. Let us hope that you never need know of such matters.
So she didn't want to talk about the dark ones. And she's been very forthcoming about everything else.
Creatures of the night, shapeshifters, skin changers. We are man or beast by our own will. To run on four legs, to howl at the moon, to chase the terrified prey through the hills. This is what it is to be truly alive. Oh! Oh, the legend of the werewolf is but a folk tale. We change our shape when we choose, not because the moon is in some silly phase. We are the beast with the mind of a man, and a man with the mind of a beast. It is not normally our way to speak so freely to outsiders. So why do I say so much to you? Because you need to know we are not your enemies. You have too many questions that cannot be answered, and your ignorance may be your doom. There is much to you. Your actions to come will affect us all. Do not doubt it. Therefore, I will speak honestly and openly on what I can. Now, I can see by your eyes that our future is linked to you, for weal or woe. We are the roving people, the tinkers and traders and tellers of fortunes. We are the dancers in the night and the music in the wilderness. We are the untamed ones who live only by our own rules. We own no land, and no land owns us. The world is ours for the travel.
So I talked about this in an earlier video where I talked about why the word isn't something that non-Romani people can use. The whole, Romani people are seized with wanderlust and they're happy and they travel the world without owning any property and everything. That's kind of a story that people built up around them to justify driving them out and not letting them settle down. So it wasn't a choice that was made in most cases. It was something that was forced on them to be constantly moving. So it's kind of, it's insulting and offensive to ignore that context and make it sound like a happy-go-lucky choice that they made that makes them happy. You know, okay. So there's that. They're shape changers. They're an entire race of shape changers that change into wolves as they please. Much like the entire race of shape changers in the Tarna jungles who changed into leopards. And we have an ongoing thing here where cultures of people who read as white, like the Spielberg people and the people of the Moldavian town, they're just normal people who don't really have magic. But then we meet these non-white people and they're totally exotic and magical and they change into leopards or wolves or whatever, and it really makes them seem very other and not like the normal humans back in the town. Again, I think Sierra probably thought that they were doing something nice because they made the white townspeople seem backwards and silly. Whereas these guys are awesome, sophisticated wolves. Who would you rather be? But it still is a form of exotifying another culture. We're coming up on the hour mark. I'm wondering if we can get Davy's dialogue real quick. We're going to try.
We gypsies are not werewolves. We are shape-shifters. We take on the form of wolves for hunting. You can call me Davy. Names are very important. Davy is my name to outsiders. I also have a gypsy name and a true name. True names are not given lightly. Gypsies never ask others for their names. Never say your true name. Never speak the true name of another. To say another's true name aloud gives you power over him, if you are indeed more powerful. Otherwise, it gives him power over you. We are roving traders. Our home is our wagon and campfire. We would have left this valley long ago if the flooding had not washed away the road and filled the mountain pass with swamp. The road from the town used to lead to the pass to the southwest. That was the only way in and out of this valley. The swamp is an ill place, and we gypsies stay far from it. I was borrowing some corn from the cornstalks outside the town when the burgomeister and some townsmen came from the gate. I moved behind the cornstalks to stay out of their way. They looked to be heading to the graveyard. Then, one of them pointed at me and shouted, and suddenly, they all grabbed me. I had no chance to run. I had no idea what was going on. I knew gypsies were disliked in the village, but I did not know we were so feared.
Okay, that is all his dialogue lines. I'm kind of in an awkward position here because I actually, when I was younger and was playing this as a much younger person, I really loved the camp. It's one of the best parts of the game. It's got a beautiful, amazing atmosphere. We're coming up on the fortune telling, which was very formative for me. I'm actually going to talk about the cards that they use, which are real cards. You can get them on like Amazon or whatever. Beautiful cards. So I really, really like this section of the game. Now that I'm older and I actually have some friends with Romani heritage who've talked about how harmful the stuff is to them, I kind of am watching it with a cringe, like, oh no, no, no. And I think Sierra was again probably trying to, what if we took the stereotypes and did the stereotypes but made them really cool, and then they're you want to be like them, and hadn't really thought through or listened to why that's not a fix. So this isn't me being like, "Rawr, Sierra, I hate them," and it's not me being like, "Rawr, this game, I hate it. This is my favorite game. I love this game." And I love the camp. It's beautiful. I mean, the graphics are beautiful. The we'll be returning here several times to get our fortune told because it's important and interweaves very cleverly with the game. I would say way better than the fortune telling in Tarna, which was kind of, it made sense if you'd played the game before. If you hadn't, it made no sense at all. So we're gonna cut off here because it's been an hour. I lost my train of thought. I have to break. I gotta go get some food. I haven't eaten for a while. That's probably why I'm losing my train of thought. But we'll cut here, and when we come back, we'll do, it will be time to get our fortune told. Oh, crumbs, what did I do? Why is that not working? And I think what happened with the dialogue, I think the telling of, or teaching of the, in fact, I think what happened is that when they taught the spell, there was a little, I don't know if you heard it, but there's a kind of a whoosh sound effect of a spell going off. And I think that's what caused the dialogue problem. And then after we saved and restored, it was fine. So I'm going to check something real quick.
No.
Okay, so there was you heard the whoosh, that was a spell. So if we save it as 7 and restore 7, I think if we go into the...
You tell the gypsies your
There we
name.
go. Now we'd have dialogue.
We are honored to know your name.
It is a good name, a strong name. You bear it well.
I told you I'd heard the dialogue before. So it was because of the foosh.
Oh my, for an outsider, you are most polite.
You tell about how you got here.
The dark cave? You escaped from there? Ah, you are very powerful and lucky. I would guess that a summoning spell went wrong. That cave interferes with all magic around here. But it is best not to speak of that cave. Someone brought you here for some unknown purpose. Most interesting.
You tell about the gnome and his problems.
Interesting. Baba Yaga has returned only recently to this valley. We have had scent of her to the far south. But the path to her hut is blocked by magic. You will need to find a way past that magical barrier.
Okay. So sure enough, that worked. But we will not. I'm not gonna. We're not gonna go through all the dialogue again. But I wanted to see if that would fix the dialogue assignment. And sure enough, somehow the sound effect for the "You've learned magic" needed to force a restore before you could get the dialogue back. So mystery solved. So that went a little over an hour. Sorry. Once again, this has been Quest for Glory 4. My name is Anna Mardal, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for coming along on these. Bye bye.